Hi everyone, I'm Ricardo. I'm the founder of several projects. You can follow me on Twitter, and you can see I'm spending a lot of time on FidForward, which is basically a HR on autopilot. So the idea is that you, as a startup founder, don't really have to spend time in doing performance reviews, OKR tracking, and so on. We leverage AI to do this. Recently, I've posted about putting in a programmatic SEO strategy. I'll go over what it is. And it's got a few views and 5 or 6 DMs asking, how did I do this? So you can see here the Search Console, the traffic is going up. And this comes mostly from a strategy, pretty well known. I'm going to do a tutorial today. So what is this exactly, programmatic SEO? The idea is that you capture the long tail of searches by imagining all the possible variations of what your business does. I think a great example is what Zapier did. So Zapier also benefits from the fact that it integrates a lot of tools. So they basically covered all the integrations possible that they support. So if you go down to, I think, the bottom of the page, you can see apps by title. So, for every app that they integrate with, they can just create a page for that app and all the possible integrations they have. So imagine the amount of searches they can capture just when I search for integrate Google Analytics with Google Sheets, things like this, right? My first thought is, what are really the alternatives or the synonyms to my business? And what are the features I have that can be put on a page? I'm not saying my implementation is great. It is not. It's a first implementation, but it does capture some traffic that is pretty interesting. Let's go through exactly what I did here. So here's my page, and I created a setup in which I defined a bunch of solutions. Things that my product covers: performance management, continuous feedback, structured feedback. You can use AI to generate these keywords. I did, and then put obviously a human layer on top of it to check it. But these are the things that I cover in the tool. And these things will grow over time as soon as I had features. So for instance, I added goals recently. So SMART goals is typical kind of keyword I want to capture. And now within each one, I went to another layer, which is preparing for use cases. So I can do SMART goals for micro startups or small startups. And there's a bunch of combinations I can have here. I'm generating around, I think, 16,000 pages. The build times are getting longer. But in the end, it captures some bunch of keywords. I can show you, I think, the traffic is still growing pretty much. And you can see it's growing pretty much. Okay, there's obviously blog influence here, but the number of index pages also went up by a lot. Let me go then through how did I implement this. So you can see on my right-hand side, in the end, you got to define, I'm using Astro here, so you can use whatever you want. I basically defined a dictionary of combinations. So solutions here that then combine with industries, sectors, even HR functions, as you can see here. And you can see it's a pretty big one. And this is basically matrix combination. So in the end, you just multiply the number of solutions by the lists of use cases. Now, in Astro, this is pretty simple. Claude helped me a lot in setting up the structure, but you basically want to create a index page for solution that will take on the slug. As you can see, the same thing for use cases. So these are the pages that will then cover the list of use cases. And now the complex part comes into the actual usage of or the combination of all of this. Going through, this is where I put all this complexity, right? So the titles will depend on whether the solution or the use case or the combination of them. I'm not using AI to generate this. So I'm basically, because this was very predictable, if you go into these pages, the pages are very predictable, right? SMART goals for micro startups. So it's very predictable. There have been other use cases, examples. I used for AI blog articles, which is another service of mine. I actually used AI to generate these. They looked okay in FidForward. They didn't look so well in AI blog articles. So I did run through the creation of all the meta titles, meta descriptions, and so on. I did using AI. You can also do that. In this case, it's pretty deterministic. And what you want here is the structure in which you got to have all these index pages that will then take in all of this into consideration. So, and then you end up with a use case, which in the end, this is a layout for each one of these pages. I'm not going into detail here or what's being done. To be honest, it's pretty straightforward to use ChatGPT or Claude and just ask them to create a structure like this, which is pretty simple. And then it's about debugging. You don't really need to reinvent the wheel here. And this is pretty much it. This was my journey in doing this. Hopefully you find this helpful. If you want to implement this, I'm happy to share more details and even share the code because it's pretty straightforward. I did this in TypeScript with Astro. In other tools, I did it with Wasp that also has TypeScript there. So it's pretty flexible. Just the build time will be enormous now. I think it's almost 30 minutes the build time, but it's absolutely fine. Hopefully you find this useful. Let me know in the comment section below if you need any help.